Hi, I'm Jessica Lahr, and welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here at FingerLakes1.com. It's November 2nd, 2016, and I'm joined here in studio with FingerLakes1.com President Jim Sinacropi, lead news editor Josh Durso, and network administrator Jess Miudicone.
Hey.
Happy November, everyone.
I kind of wish it was still September. But
Well, today's nice. It's the weather's not bad. It's more September than November.
We've heard Christmas music so far. We talked about when we got here.
Really?
Yes.
It's crazy.
I've avoided
Too
that
early.
this far.
Oh, come on. We have to embrace it. I don't know why everyone's so down on Christmas around here.
I love Christmas when the season hits,
Yeah.
but we still have to honor our veterans. We have to
There's
honor the
thanks to be
Pilgrims
given,
and the friendship they forged with the Native Americans.
What we need is Thanksgiving
Jim,
music.
I think we all know here that you are just hoping for a little more golf weather.
Exactly.
Elections.
Right.
I agree with that. Well, in the next half hour, we'll be talking about this week's top local news, your best bet weekend events here in the Finger Lakes, the weekend weather outlook, sports lineup, and more, including our top local photos from the past week. Big debate on Thursday night for the New York State Senate 54th District race.
Right here in this studio.
Right here in this studio. It will be awesome.
Big deal.
It is. It might be one of the biggest deals at Finger Lakes 1 ever.
Yeah.
And it's finally here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we're 24 hours,
The
a little more
debate
than
is
24
coming.
hours away.
It's very exciting.
I'm looking forward.
It'll be interesting.
Moderated by you.
Moderated by myself.
Great
Well,
work.
You know, with as far as this 54th district business here, I haven't seen much on TV. I see a lot of Catco ads, you know, and how his opponent's going to rubber stamp everything Pelosi does, and Catco likes Trump. I haven't heard anything about this 54th district race. And, you know, when there have been events, they've been kind of under-publicized.
Interestingly, I don't think the spend, I haven't looked at the finance numbers to actually verify this, but I don't think the spending in the general has been equal or in line with the way it was in the Republican primary. So that is part of the reason. You'll see less flyers, you'll see less stuff in the mail, on the news, etc.
Is that an indication that maybe they're handing this thing to Helming? Like Baldrige just isn't willing to spend because, I mean, she's the favorite.
But you know, you've got technically you have two Republicans in the race, and there is a good chance that could somehow split some of the vote. I think it's just going to be really close, and I think all of the candidates are playing it very cautiously, and I can't really blame them given the
The
circumstances.
gloves come off tomorrow night.
It's all going to hang out tomorrow.
This, though, Nizzolio has held the seat for so long, so everybody that lives in the district knows what they get from their state senator, and most people agree he's done a great job. But that's about to change, and we don't really know or haven't heard too much about where these candidates stand on a lot of important issues. So
It's been difficult to get the three of them together. I know they did one appearance last week together in Auburn with the Auburn Citizen. But other than that, I think that was the only occasion until tomorrow night where all three have sat next to each other and actually talked about issues.
how did you come up with the questions that you're going to
So
pose to them tomorrow? What are the rules of this debate?
About a quarter of the questions are user, reader, watcher submitted. So we've been collecting over the last few weeks. And then the rest of them have sort of been looking at the big issues, the big headlines from throughout the region. So not just Seneca County, not just Ontario County, not just Wayne County, but the entire region, and formulating sort of a top 10 list. And then we whittle down a little further than that. We figure we'll have time for about 8 to 10 issues and questions altogether. So the candidates will have a minute to answer each question, 30 seconds to respond to an opponent, and then follow-ups will be presented as necessary.
Wow.
And hopefully they don't kill each other.
Well, good luck to you.
I think it'll be a civil debate.
I do too.
Yeah.
So you want to watch this tomorrow night at 8 o'clock live.
Yeah.
There's several ways to do it. If you're watching this show right now, use that same method tomorrow night, whether it's on your phone, your tablet, your desktop, or you're streaming it to a Chromecast or on a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Roku. You know what I'm saying?
Fire TV.
There's lots of different ways. Log on to fingerlakes1.com shortly before 8 o'clock. There'll be a link right on the homepage that'll take you right to the stream. Log on to fingerlakes1.tv. It'll be in the main player on the homepage of Finger Lakes 1 TV. Click on the fingerlakes1.tv tab in the Android or iPhone app, and it'll load it up. Click on the... if you have a YouTube app, you can subscribe to our channel and watch it in your YouTube app, or that's how natively you can watch it on TVs that have a YouTube app installed on your internet TV. And you can listen to it on FL1 Radio. There's a link on our homepage in the top of our nav bar, and you can also click on the FL1 Radio tab in our app. So there's no excuses because there's literally like 8 million ways to watch it.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know, and one of them isn't just pick up your remote and turn to channel 10, which is sadly why, you know...
It's the biggest challenge by far,
is
getting people past that internet barrier.
Yeah.
And if that wasn't enough tomorrow night, on Tuesday night, we're going wall-to-wall election coverage from 8 to 11 midnight, whenever, you know, the results stop pouring in. And that's a very popular production we do, our election night live coverage. There's nothing like it in the region.
Yeah. That's going to be it's going to be a long night for us.
It's going to be a great night.
We'll be here.
That's always exciting.
Yeah.
Thrilling.
Yeah.
Thrilling.
I'm looking forward to both.
Thrilling's the word I would use.
Compelling.
Compelling, thrilling are the two best words I would use to describe it. So, informative.
Very informative. Wildly informative.
Entertaining.
Wow.
Well, tune in.
You know what else is wildly informative? Jessica.
Yes.
Well, speaking of, let me inform you about the weather this weekend. It's going to be raining on Thursday, but after that, the weekend is looking pretty nice. So a slight chance of morning showers before turning mostly cloudy on Friday. It'll be a cold day with a high just reaching the mid-40s, but Saturday will show improvement and should be a nice day under partly sunny skies with a high in the mid-50s. Sunday, another pleasant but cool November day with partly sunny skies and a high in the lower 50s. It's my son's birthday as well. Early
Happy
next
birthday.
week looks to be a bit warmer with highs in the upper 50s and plenty of sun in the long-range forecast. As always, check out the latest local forecast and live radar at our local weather center at fingerlakes1.com. Josh, what
News
are the
time.
top news stories everyone's clicking on this week?
Okay, so it isn't debate, although debate is big. Cayuga County District Attorney John Butelman was accused by former Assistant District Attorney in Cayuga County, Jeffrey Domachowski, of withholding evidence in more than 14 major drug cases over the last several years. Domachowski alleges that this was a trend and impacts cases involving individuals who are currently serving multiple decades. Details haven't really been specific on that part of it. But Butelman did issue a statement on Monday saying that the claims were baseless, untrue, and that no one has filed a grievance on any of the claims that have been made thus far. Two major cases that Butelman is currently dealing with in court have been postponed on Tuesday. One was actually at the sentencing phase, and that individual decided that he would like to withdraw his guilty plea, which was entered in the spring. So a lot of questions about the future of Cayuga County, how cases had been handled and prosecuted over the last 4 or 5 years. This could have some serious implications, and it would appear as though most of them are all drug-related.
Yeah, this could be really big, depending on what the next steps are. But this could be a really, really big story that would shake up things in Cayuga County. That's for sure.
Yeah, and when you think about, people are going to automatically think about the really big cases, but there are also dozens and dozens and dozens of little small cases, and this could theoretically tip the balance on all of them, and it could really. It could actually cost the county a lot of money in the long term with having to re-prosecute certain cases, go back through the legal system. Could be expensive.
Maybe some lawsuits.
Possibly some lawsuits. Another major story in Cayuga County, Auburn Community Hospital was cited for hygiene and drug handling issues. Auburn Hospital was cited after multiple infractions were observed on an unannounced visit on April 19th and 20th. Hygiene, infection control, and medication issues were the major violations. Specifically, failure to wear gloves during certain procedures, failure to execute proper hygiene before procedures, specifically the insertion of a catheter, having expired medications available for patient use. Multiple medicines were 2 months expired or more. Members of nursing staff administering medications that they are not allowed to by regulation. Failure to verify amounts of drugs being pushed to patients. One staffer was quoted in the report saying, "This seems like a high dosage. I have never pushed this amount before."
Oh, my
Not
gosh.
appropriately handling waste, leaving much of it in hallways or stairwells. One stairwell at the facility was actually being used as a waste room, which is supposed to be cordoned off and properly ventilated. 10 receptacles holding old dirty linens and garbage were just sitting in a stairwell, and that was the practice. They weren't just temporarily parked there or on their way out of the facility. They were there, and people would just, essentially, staffers would just bring garbage.
Who's
to
in charge of
these.
that
I know,
hospital?
I was going to say,
Like,
someone
yeah.
dropped the ball, yeah.
And a lot of it seems to be policy side, where instruction to staff. And these
So
were,
they just
I mean,
don't know.
these were not, people might automatically assume that we're talking about nurses' aides or people with limited background. At least 4 of the infractions involved registered nurses. So there's no, the professional training, the professional background was there, but it seems like the specific policy in the hospital was not properly instructed to staff. So
Which, wouldn't they know that? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
You would
just
think,
to
but
wear
it-
gloves, it seems...
yeah,
would-
and-
For their
common
own
sense.
protection.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Right,
It's not for the
and
patient, for
If you're going to
themselves.
catheterize someone,
I guess
Yeah.
the
put gloves on
question
for you.
The question then becomes: was it a caseload issue? Was it just so
Right.
busy that they didn't have time, or that? And these are the questions that I'm sure will be addressed over the next.
It's
several
hard to
days,
be an
but-
excuse with the fact that, and I don't know how the budget for hospitals work, but I know there's a lot of money in healthcare.
Sure
So
is.
I can't I can't imagine that it was a budgetary thing. I would start at the top. Who's in charge of the what do you call the head of the hospital? The hospital have
Probably
like a
just
general
top
manager.
administrator,
Are
some
they
sort
run
of
by a
top
board?
administrator.
Are they run by a board of
Somewhere.
directors?
Private hospitals, I think, are, but if I believe that's a
a
public
community
hospital.
hospital would be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, but they haven't issued a statement. They have been totally tight-lipped on it since the visit. Again, the visits were on April 19th and 20th. And if you look at the timestamps, a report is on our website, fingerlakes1.com. But if you look at the timestamps, all of the timestamps of the issues were within, when they spotted one infraction, it was like 10 minutes later they were spotting another infraction, and then a half hour later another one, and it
Oh, my
just sort of
Inspector's
snowballed.
dream.
Oh.
Love What a day.
Well, hopefully they get it figured out and cleaned up. And
One would hope, because a lot of people around here, for those of us in Seneca County, you pretty much have to choose between 3
Right.
hospitals, and none of them are really in our backyard. So
Right.
that is
Yeah.
one of the natural choices for a lot of people.
We had one of
Yeah.
your sons was born in Auburn,
in
right?
Yeah, my
Did you
second
see
son.
soiled linens in the hallway?
Thank God I did
No.
not. And I was really pleased with it. It was actually a quiet hospital. I had my first son in Geneva, and then it was a nice, quiet little hospital, and I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was born.
That
I
was
was born
7 years
there,
ago.
and
You were?
I mean, I turned out fine.
Obviously.
I think.
You're a debate moderator after all.
I know. How about some good news?
Okay.
So
Yes.
Del Lago Resort and Casino announced yesterday in a press conference that they would be making a $100,000 donation to the Finger Lakes Workforce Investment Board. Executive Vice President Jeff
Awesome.
Babinski made the announcement during a press conference. The donation to the investment board will help with their mission, training more people in skilled trades in advanced manufacturing. Video tour is available on fingerlakes1.com, as well as video from the press conference. It
One
was
video
very,
from
very
the press
interesting.
conference, one from the little tour, little look inside.
Yep, 85% complete.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
it's even gotten to the point where the executives are moving into their offices
2 weeks,
Wow.
right?
in 2 weeks, and carpet is going down.
Wow.
I gotta tell you, I took a tour there. What was it, a couple months ago? Maybe in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
went,
Yeah,
and
it was summer.
that tour didn't look much different than when I was there.
Oh, really?
Really?
And I was interested in Yuri gave the tour.
Yep.
And the most interesting thing that I heard him say was that, look, this doesn't look like we're going to be able to open this on February 1st, but I've done enough of these projects to know that it's all going to come together and we'll be
Just
fine.
happens.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, and there's not carpet, there's no gaming tables, there's no slot machines, there's no. The restaurants are all wide open. It's but February 1st. they're going to be, thousands of people a day are going to be going there.
Yep.
And we also talked about when that is operational, the people in that casino will be more than the population of Tyre, New York itself.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
City within a, I wouldn't call Tyre a city, but city within a town.
Sure.
Yep. It's going to be a huge boost for the whole region, definitely.
Yeah.
So, enough about news. What great events do we have going on, Jessica?
Yeah, this
Yes.
is the best one here.
This is what I wait for all week.
You ready for this? It's the 2016 Finger Lakes Cornhole Championship, Josh.
Ooh.
On Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Wagner Vineyards in Lodi.
Fun.
Listen, it's a double elimination tournament. Teams will be randomly seeded. Games will be best of 3 series to 21, not exact. You don't have to get exactly 21. In both wineries, both winners and losers brackets. The cost of the tournament includes tasting to both Wagner Vineyards and Wagner Valley Brewing Company for both players. Learn more and register online at wagnervineyards.com.
Cornhole. You know what a cornhole is?
I have no idea what a cornhole is.
I think like the literal word cornhole means, I think it means, where the corn comes out of after you eat it. Right?
I'm going to say no.
No?
Probably not. No.
Doesn't it have something to do with you throw the thing into the...
Well, and if it does mean that, the championships must be really astounding.
You've played cornhole before.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
But that's where you think the term comes from?
I don't know.
I don't know the etymology of the term cornhole.
It's a bar game.
Much like bunghole.
Started as a bar game, or it's like a
Right.
fancy
It probably
form of
comes
jarts.
from a hole in some sort of container that you plug up.
Right.
I'm assuming. I don't really know.
That took a twist I wasn't
I
expecting.
don't really know. It may be. I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know.
You let us know.
I don't know. Anyway, on Friday, the Geneva Historical Society will offer a special evening tour of the Rose Hill Mansion's first floor.
Ooh.
Now listen.
Just the first
Yeah, because they're going to focus on how the rooms were used during the evening times.
Oh, cool.
Right? So, in the era before electric light, what did people do after dark? Well, I think we all know. Same thing they do now. How did they get around their house, grounds, and community without modern lighting?
Wow.
How? Find out more about the Swan family's nightlife during the late 1800s and view the rooms yourself by electric candlelight. Tours will leave every 30 minutes beginning at 6:30 p.m. The tour will last approximately 45 minutes. Okay, and the last tour starts at 8:30. This special event includes light refreshments. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny. Admission is $10 per person and $7 for members of the Geneva Historical Society. It is recommended that visitors bring a flashlight for the walk back to their car.
That's not authentic.
No, unless they should bring a lantern.
Neither is having cars. They should come
bring a
by
lantern.
horse and
Or
carriage.
electric candlelight.
Call 315-789-5151 for reservations. Call.
That'd be interesting, though.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, a lot of these events, I think, that would be interesting. But I don't know, like, who goes to these things? And no offense to anybody, but who's like, you know what?
Somebody.
Yeah, I mean, they must. And I would admit that if on my Friday night, I think I'm going to have other plans, but...
Right.
Wouldn't it be interesting to know how they use those rooms after dark?
But are these senior citizens that go to this? Are these people that bring their kids as an
I would bring
educational
my
experience?
children to that, and they'd probably not appreciate it at the time, but then
Right.
they'd remember it later in life.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. I learned about fireplaces.
How much of that would they remember?
reading
though?
couches.
How much would it be? How much would be retained?
Bring a flashlight.
I remember certain things.
I do too.
From that time period of my life. I went to Rose Hill Mansion at that age.
Yeah.
Did you?
10, 11, and I was like,
Yeah.
I remember it.
I went to an old schoolhouse. I'll never forget. It was so neat.
See?
Yeah. It was cool.
More
Those
events.
experiences.
There's more events.
We're
Hold on.
running a little
The
behind.
Holiday Hurrah Craft and Vendor Show will be held on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Phelps Community Center. 3 large rooms full of great gifts for the upcoming holiday season. Avoid them all and find something unique for everyone on your list.
Craft shows always say that.
Yeah.
Skip them all. Find something
crafty.
Shop some items off your Christmas shopping list at the craft show.
That's their go-to line.
Do you have? I mean, look, I'm guess I'm a little too negative about some of these events, and I'm sure the craft show is great and everything. But are you gonna knock items off your Christmas shopping list at the craft show?
Maybe someone crafted a nice cornhole set you could bring to the championship. You don't know.
Could be right.
What happens to the pumpkins when Halloween is over? The squash gets squished. Watch as animals throughout the Rosamond Gifford Zoo in Syracuse stomp, romp, and chomp pumpkins of varying sizes. Don't worry, the pumpkins will be of varying sizes. They're not uniformly sized. Don't miss the 11th annual gourd-filled gala of fun on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Ooh.
Can you imagine an elephant stomping a bunch of pumpkins like it was a ball pit?
That's a riot.
Like it's a ball pit.
Oh my gosh.
Adorable.
Seriously.
It's Friday on Franklin and Watkins Glen. On the first Friday of each month, which is this Friday, coincidentally, from 5 to 8 p.m., you'll have the opportunity to sample local wine and craft beer while strolling the streets of Watkins Glen.
Great.
Fun.
Good stuff.
And don't forget, you can always enjoy fall sky rides at Bristol Mountain. Enjoy them.
While they last.
Yeah.
More upcoming events on our community calendar here at afingerlakes1.com. Over to you, Jess.
All right, sports, Jim.
Oh, it's Jim.
Yep, quickly here. The Buffalo Bills will try to bounce back from their embarrassing loss at home to the Patriots last week, but it won't be easy as they'll travel all the way to Washington State to face the Seattle Seahawks at 8:30 p.m. on Monday Night Football. Like all Monday Night Football games, it will be televised on ESPN. Syracuse basketball won their exhibition game on Tuesday night against Indiana of Pennsylvania, 83-65. They'll be back in action again on this coming Tuesday night when they host Lemoyne in their final exhibition game. They look good. They look deep. They look big. They look tall and athletic. And the new faces, not all freshmen. They got 2 senior grad transfers. Going to be a great year on the Hill for the Orange basketball team. And the Upstate Orange podcast will return on Sunday for our special season preview edition. I'm not sure about the time yet, though, so check your little front page of Finger Lakes 1 for more on that. The 4-4 Syracuse Orange football team returns to action after a bye week when they travel to Death Valley to face the number 3 ranked Clemson Tigers for a 3:30 p.m. kickoff Saturday on ESPN2. And chance for the Orange to play big-time spoiler there. As Dino Babers put in his press conference, don't bet the house on it, brother. But there's always a chance.
That's right.
The Cornell Big Red will try to snap a 4-game losing streak when they host Dartmouth at 1:30 at Sholkoff Field in Ithaca. The 7-1 Hobart Statesmen will be up in Canton, New York on Saturday for a 1 p.m. tilt with St. Lawrence. The 4-4 Ithaca Bombers will host Buffalo State for a 1 p.m. kickoff at Butterfield Stadium in Ithaca. And it's championship weekend for Section 5 football with games at Salem Stadium in Rochester on Friday and Saturday. Friday night will feature a Class D championship game between the Clyde Savannah Golden Eagles and Alexander at 5 o'clock, followed by the Class A final between Greece Athena and Brighton. Clyde's really good. They could go deep. They could go state championship deep, which interestingly enough would hurt their basketball team because a lot of people on that football team play basketball, and basketball season starts November 26th at New York State Chiropractic College, where Clyde plays Minders in a game that will be live streaming. So part of me wants them to win it all. Part of me wants them to lose so they can play basketball. On Saturday, a triple header will start with the Class C final pitting E. Argananda against Bishop Kearney at noon. The Class B championship follows between Batavia and Hornell at 3. And the nightcap in Class AA, defending state champ Victor squaring off against 2-seed Pittsford in what should be a doozy. We'll have all the scores throughout the weekend here at FingerLakes1.com.
As we do.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look at our top local photos of the week.
Picture time.
You like
Picture
leaves?
time.
You like pictures of colored leaves?
Love leaves, especially when they're colored.
That time of year.
About done. Lake Ontario was very rambunctious as the waves were pummeling the outer Sodus Bay Lighthouse last week. In this photo from Diane Dersh.
Get pummeled, Lighthouse.
Beautiful. Also from Diane, the colors were still bright at Taganock Falls State Park, as seen in this photo taken on the North Rim Trail last Wednesday afternoon. Still quite a few leaves on those trees.
Sure.
A lot of green.
Yep. A long work flotilla and the tugboat Syracuse, piloted by Captain Wendy Marble, is seen here exiting Lions Lock E27 early Thursday morning in the pouring rain in this photo by Robert Stopper.
Nobody pilots a tug like Wendy Marble.
Get piloted, Tug.
Majestic beast right there.
Yep. And its mustache.
The first snow of the season didn't seem to make this rose very happy on Thursday morning in Ovid. In this photo sent in by Rachel Burkholder. Oh.
Yeah.
Beautiful and sad at the same time. Here's another photo from Diane Dersch that she took as she drove by Seneca Lake last Friday afternoon.
Nice one.
The trees were still vibrant, and the barn added another burst of color. And another photo from Robert Stopper, the sailboat on purpose, boating from Canada to the Bahamas, provided a special touch Monday morning to reflections on the Erie Canal just east of Lyons.
Headed to the Bahamas.
The reflections make that photo.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I want to jump on. Bring me to the Bahamas. And finally, from Rachel Burkholder, Ludlowville Falls in Lansing as seen on Monday. After the dry summer, the water flow is finally back.
Love
And
that.
you, Jessica, saw Rachel at the grocery store, right?
Yes, I heard Jessica, and I turned around, and she said, "It's Rachel. I recognized your voice." I'd been talking to a friend, and I said, "I feel like we should take a picture."
Right. But you didn't.
And we didn't.
You didn't
we
have
didn't.
your selfie stick with you?
No, I know.
That's odd.
Darn. But it was Rachel and Rochelle, her daughter. So hi, guys, and thanks for sending in your photos. It was so nice to meet Rachel.
That's
and
cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
She's so sweet, and I know I admire her work every single week. So it was pretty cool. I'm glad she said something. She could have easily just kept walking, and
Yep.
she said hello. So I was happy about that. Anyway, great photos, everyone. And if you'd like to send in your local photos from across the region, click on the Submit Content section at the bottom right-hand side of our homepage here at FingerLakes1.com. There's a good chance you'll see your photo in next week's show. Jim, network highlights this week. What are we looking at?
Got 3 minutes to get out of here quickly. Upstate Orange podcast comes back on Sunday. Debate tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Election night next Tuesday night live from 8 to 11 to 12 whenever the results all come in. And our other shows. You might not want to miss Harold Weber next Monday morning because he's going to give his official endorsements one day ahead of the election at 9:30
Wow.
a.m. So
Oh, man. I will be
he
tuned
doesn't
That's
have a guest.
blockbuster.
Yeah, so we'll see.
All right.
Wow.
Oh, and don't forget to turn your clocks back before bed on Saturday
Fall
night.
back, fall back.
Yes.
Spring ahead, fall back. So we
Right.
gain an hour.
Extra
Yeah, that's
hour of
nice.
sleep.
Yep.
That's the nice thing about it. Gets dark earlier, though. I'm not.
Yeah.
Sunday night is going to be a shock when at 4:30 p.m. it is dark. But I love it.
You do?
Aside from the golf, I love the first month or two of daylight savings.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nice to leave work when it's dark, and I don't know. I don't mind it. I like everything about winter from up until January
Yeah.
15th, and then I'm done
I'm
with
with
it.
you.
And then I'm done with it.
Yep. Over the holidays, and
Yep.
the snow can go away at that point.
Right. Right. So, but yeah, don't forget. And you don't really have to. I mean, nowadays, do we even have to like manually turn back many clocks?
Not
Usually, it's
many.
automatic.
Not
With
many.
phones and stuff. Think about how easy we have it now, living in
My
the future.
oven and microwave are not internet connected. But other than that, pretty
Right.
much everything is.
In the car.
Right.
That's
My
one I
alarm
forget,
clock.
and then I panic. There's a time that comes I panic.
All right, just take
All
us
right.
out of here.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for another edition of FLX Weekly. And remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. And if you'd like to drop us a line, send an email to contact@fingerlakes1.com. If you enjoy our show, be sure to tell your friends. We'll be back live next Wednesday afternoon at 12:30 for another edition of FLX Weekly. Enjoy your first weekend of November, and remember to vote. Vote.
See you
Bye.
next week.